Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Chris, your Dark Avenger, and this is going to be one of the hardest videos I've ever had to record in my entire YouTube career, and that spans multiple channels. But we're here today, and this is going to be a point one for the Dark Avenger podcast. It's going to be a YouTube exclusive. It's not going to be showing up anywhere else, not this episode at least. And before I get into the episode, I just want to point out that the start of this video until whenever the video itself finishes, from right now until whenever it's done, you're going to be watching a video of me showing off all the books I've been picking up the past couple of months. I've been meaning to share this video for a while, so while I'm doing this podcast, you can enjoy me showing off all the books I've picked up for the past couple of months. And then once that's done, we're going to go back to the picture that we started this show off with. But I just wanted to kind of point out what video you're watching while we're doing it. And I actually missed a book at the end, so you're going to see a cut, and then you're going to see it come back, and then you're going to see me wave goodbye again. But yes, that is my haul for the past near 6 months. Anyway, this is going to be a very hard video for me. And I think that's why it's best for me to do this as a podcast. I'm doing this in one take. I have a document up with all the stuff I want to talk about. And honestly, looking over some of it, I am definitely going to be changing a few things up as I go. It's been 5 years. It's honestly been longer than 5 years, but it's been 5 years since 2020. And a lot has gone on. A lot changed in 2020, as I've mentioned before in multiple live shows. And I've been stopping, starting again, stopping again. And there's always something that happens that causes me to, unfortunately, stop. Whether it be myself or external reasons, life reasons, family reasons. And September of last year, which is 2024, I really did try to start again. I thought I would be able to power through what I knew was coming literally a month after I started the comic reviews back up. And then I had to stop again because I wasn't able to keep up with the channel, and there was some major stuff going on, and it prevented me from recording. So here we are again. We're in 2025. We are literally in my birth month. It is May, and I'm here recording this video. And I'm gonna be honest. For a while there, I was debating if this was it, if I was truly just done with YouTube and done with the reviews and everything else. And I debated about it for a while, especially with all the changes that have been going on in my life. And ultimately, obviously, since I'm doing this video, I decided not to quit, or else this video would have been labeled something completely different. However, I acknowledge that because things are extremely different in my life now, in multiple ways, there needs to be a change because it's not working out. And I'm going to touch on a few ideas and a few things I've been thinking about and feeling, and even touch on things that I haven't talked about yet that I want to. And hopefully through this video and through me kind of getting stuff that I've been kind of keeping close to my chest, off my chest, it'll help springboard me into something new with this channel, and get me back to a type of regimen, type of schedule again, where more consistent things are going to be coming out of this channel. Now, I mentioned it's been a very long 5 years, and things have been very different. When I started on YouTube, it was me and my brother. Through it all, through thick and thin, from Brooklyn Boys to Dark Avenger, Michael has always been a huge part of recording or co-hosting or part of a skit, Michael was always involved. And we're not talking about Brooklyn Boys. We're talking about this channel right now. And Michael was my cameraman turned co-panelist for my reviews, turned still my recorder at times, and somebody that I would be doing videos with to bounce ideas and chats and stuff off of. That was the one consistent thing that in 2020 changed. And not only that, the loss of my father and grandmother played very heavily on my heart in 2020. And on top of that, without going into great detail, and I won't because of multiple reasons, Cindy and I did end up separating, and it was not pretty. That is all I'm going to say on that. But with all of these changes, I tried to bring this channel back to the way it was without all the taking into consideration all of these major changes, because it's not the same anymore. And I was trying to continue this channel the way it was pre-changes, and I think that's where the problem started. And then holding a lot of stuff in for certain things, I think also made it a bit worse and made recording a bit more tiring, or just strain, on myself. And like I said, it really connects mostly back to my brother, who was always a huge part of everything I did on YouTube. Whether, like I said, it be anything from the videos to talking about what we wanted to do, talking about unboxings, whatever. And I want to touch on that. That was the first subject, actually, for this show. And I'm honestly looking at the chapter of this show where I've outlined everything that's happened with Michael from the moment things changed to present day, and I could give all the details right now. I have it all written in front of my face. And a piece of me wants to, but a piece of me also is saying, as I'm doing the recording now, that as much as I want to explain and share my thoughts and feelings, I'm not going to sit here and talk about every single thing my brother's done. I mean, it'd be very easy to, and I know a lot of people are aware of things Michael has done. I'm just not going to. Instead, I've decided to explain a few things away and kind of explain why it impacts. Now, as all of you know, in the end of 2019, beginning of 2020, my brother moved out. Again, it wasn't the most pleasant or the most nicest way to have been moved out. It wasn't done the nice way or the right way, and people were involved who shouldn't have been. I'm not saying who they were. They are not in my life anymore either. That is a chapter I closed a long time ago as well. And our father was on his deathbed. I mean, our father died in January, and he moved out. Stuff happened, and we fast forward. I'm going to fast forward all the way to the present almost. Things happened with Michael in his apartment. Myself and family, let Michael come and stay with us for a bit because it was ridiculous till he found a place. He did find a place eventually in Staten Island. Originally lied about where it was, and then at some point moved out. He left behind a lot of stuff that he didn't want to take to his new apartment that now we have to find a way to get rid of. And he decided, after moving, to cut communications. For whatever reasons, there are a bunch that he concocted, most of which aren't true. But the reason I bring this up is because it's kind of important, because he cut communication with us first, but then slowly people started coming to me. First, it was close friends of ours, close IRL friends of ours, and then it was people from YouTube wondering where Michael was, because when he moved out of here, he stopped making videos. He stopped talking to people. He cut people out of his life as well. And the the facts are, we lost Michael. My mother and I did hear from him at the end of summer, almost a year ago. It'll be a year ago this coming August, and he explained to us that things went downhill fast. After he moved, there were some lies that were told to him, some real fantastical lies about myself, about our mother. The Somebody got him to believe he was adopted, which he wasn't, and it was because of all these lies he stayed away. And then, obviously, the person who was telling the lies was the person he was dating. And then, the same day he called us, she called him and wanted to try to fix things. And I told him, a person who tells fantastical lies like that has no place near myself or my children. So if that's the route he's going, that, he's always welcome, but she is not. And I don't know what clicked in his head, but that was the last time I spoke to Michael, and that will be almost a year ago this August. Somebody did mention about a picture that showed up on the internet. It was a picture of him during Christmas, and I know Michael well enough that he likes to put little pokes in his pictures or whatever he does. He had I Did It My Way on his TV. I mean, if he wants to brag about, his way, and brag that he's doing it his way hurt a lot of people. Family, friends, viewers, everyone. And if he wants to brag about that, he's more than welcome to. But in the end, his way hurt people. And the reason I'm even talking about this is, A, it hurt. It still hurts. My brother was a huge part of my life. Growing up, we were brothers. We fought. I wasn't the best. I can promise you I am not perfect in any way. I've done bad things and good things, and things I regret and some things I don't regret. I'm not sitting here saying I was the perfect older brother. I was not. I definitely had flaws. I have flaws. I'm not perfect. But he was still a huge part. When we started YouTube, we did it together. We chose to do it together as a team. Him and I and Kevin did it. The three of us. And I guess this is kind of me saying that Brooklyn Boys is not coming back. Also, I mean, I'm debating making an official video or just letting the channel be, because that channel holds a lot of wonderful memories, and I'm just going to let it be that way. But when we started doing YouTube together, that is when we got the closest, I feel, because we talked about making videos, we talked about doing videos, we talked about ideas and skits and scripts and unboxings and reviews and ideas and stuff like that. And in a sense, it was our means of really building a very strong brothership. And somewhere along the lines, as it happens sometimes, a person gets in the way or other people get into your head. I'm guilty of letting that happen to me in a different way, not in this way, but in a different way. I did let people convince me about certain things, and I'll talk about that in the next chapter here, but he did too. I don't know why Michael stopped YouTube, and I'm not going to sit here and guess why. I threw out my guesses to people who wanted to, throw out hypotheses. But he was a huge part of this channel. Starting up now, or starting from 2020, everything I've done on this channel has been just me. Just me with with the camera, just me in front of the camera, just me doing the videos, and it's been different. And I've been trying to treat it like it was before, the way things were, the old ways, where it was me and Michael. And I think that that's what definitely put a bit of a mental strain on myself. And that was one of the things that needed to change. I needed to change my methods. I needed to change how I did videos. And also, and this is kind of going off of Mike a little bit, and going into just in general when it came to doing videos, I tried to do the old way. The old ways were not working. And that was a problem. That was an issue I was having, was doing things the way I used to. And before Michael left, I chose to stop the reviews at 500. My ambition always wanted to go to 1,000 and beyond. I talked about it often. Every 100th episode, I talked about the road to 1,000, the road to 1,000. And then around 450 to 500 is when I started questioning. And everybody does. You know, you do, especially when you've been doing something for so long. It was already 10 years. We were closing in on 10 years. It was 10 years when we hit 500. And I was questioning. And maybe it was a mix of jealousy, a mix of people knowing that if I kept going, that I was going to do it, that I was going to make something big about it, or maybe just some people just thought I should stop. But a lot of people thought it was a good idea for me not to be as ambitious, looking to do 1,000 comic reviews, and that 500 would be a good stopping point, and for me to do something different with the channel, because I was questioning, should I keep going, shouldn't I? And a lot of people thought I shouldn't. And I listened, and I was wrong to listen. This goes back to listening to people instead of just doing what my heart tells me. And at first, the relief of not having to do a review every single week, you know, it's a good feeling for the first month, 2 months, maybe even 3 months. It was a good feeling to not have to worry about reading every single book that came out on a Wednesday that I, have on my pull list. It was nice to actually take a break, take a break and take a breath and just read my top 5, because I was still doing, Comic Book Weekly. And then when the 6-month mark hit, when it was a half a year from when I stopped doing my reviews, I started to feel it. I started to feel that piece missing, and it just didn't feel right. Because doing the reviews was something I loved doing. Talking about comics was something I loved doing. And there were other things going on in my life at that time, at that moment, that blinded me to that love that I had. And I would give anything to go back to that time, to not stop my reviews at 500, to keep going, to keep pushing forward, regardless what anyone said. Because reviewing comics was something I always liked. I always loved. Writing has always been a passion. It has. Unfortunately, we are in a day and age where it's very hard to break in without doing a lot. And I just am not the best salesperson, I guess. But I was always the best at talking about the things I loved reading. So I do regret it. It is something that 5 years later I regret, because we could have been close to 1,000 right now. Instead, from 500 all the way through till 520 something, I believe we're at right now, has been a struggle. It's been stretched out between the past 5 years. And personally, I'm embarrassed by it, because the review has always been weekly, without fail, without skips. And even when I missed a week, I found a way to do an extra episode. Suffice it to say, I cannot do 5 years worth of episodes. I can't even read 5 years worth of the books that I haven't read yet. So That's the past. If I start the reviews up again, they must be weekly. I cannot keep doing a review for a month or two and then stop and then come back months later. The review's always meant to be consistent. So this way, the books I'm reading one month travel into the next month, and we see if I continue reading the same books. Because I can promise all of you, I'm not reading the same books I was 5 years ago. I've dropped a lot. I've moved away from a lot of series. I've gone into some independence. I've left some independence. And unfortunately, there are some miniseries and events and things that I am never going to have the pleasure of talking about unless maybe a trade review down the road or whatever. Miniseries have come and gone, and Star Wars ended, X-Men changed, so much has gone on. The Absolute Universe dropped for DC Comics, Justice League came back, all this crazy stuff that's going on that has gone on for the past 5 years, and I feel like I missed out on talking about a lot of it. And I want that to change. And moving away from Michael, like I said, we've already moved away from Michael, but I've said my piece with him. I will say this, though, before I walk away from and shut the door on this subject, because this will probably be the last time I use his name, I talk about him at all. I love my brother. I love him regardless of what he's done to me, to friends, to viewers. I will always be here for all of you no matter what. That is why I am fighting so hard to get back to a regiment, to doing stuff on this channel at least, and beyond. There are some new things that are going on. I'm going to talk about that. But I love my brother. I miss my brother. It's not the same without Michael here. But I refuse to lay down and say, well, Mike's not coming back. Mike's not here. I'm done too. At first, I didn't think I could do it without him. I really didn't think I could do it. Now I have to. I refuse to not do what I love doing anymore. Because I know there are some people out there that are reveling, that are loving how much I'm doing nothing with this channel anymore. Because this is what they wanted. And they found a way by getting rid of him, by pulling Mike and I apart. Do I hope Michael will come back someday and things will change and fix? Absolutely. Is it happening right now, though? No, it's not. And I'm not waiting for it. It may never happen. I don't know. But I will always love my brother. And if we ever do get Michael back, the Michael he was before he left, and I don't mean left to Staten Island, I mean before he left this house, before our father died, when our father was on his deathbed, if we can get that Michael back again, I'll be the first one to celebrate. But till then, there have been some new things going on in my life the past 5 years that I've been away from this channel. I mean, I've been in this channel, I've been trying, but a lot has gone on outside of YouTube. And it plays a major role in my life now. And I've changed as a person as well. And I don't want to say any of this to... How do I put this? In comic books, when a character changes, a lot of the times the writers like to focus on that aspect that they've changed. I don't want my channel to be about me being who I am or what I am or who I love. I always want to be just Chris, the guy that loves talking about comic books, about my passion. That is what this channel is about. And I did discover a lot about myself with all of the things that have gone on since 2020. I got into VR chat. I met a lot of people, and I learned a lot about feelings that I had that I didn't know were there, that I suppressed, that, growing up in the 90s, you don't think about. And I also, came out as a furry. I am a VR chat furry. I do not have a fursuit, but Blaze is a character, my fursona. He is a red wolf. I've introduced him through TikTok. I've introduced him through Twitch streams. I've introduced him in the VR chat community, in the furry community. And I've made a lot of really awesome friends through all of that. And I also came out as a few other things. Again, I don't wish to be defined by what I am. I want to be defined by my work. But Blaze is a lovely pansexual wolf to reflect myself. And through Blaze, I've been streaming on Twitch. I've been doing a lot more gaming on Twitch because through VR chat, I joined and socialized in a lot of really amazing groups. I moderate multiple communities. I work in a lot of communities. Not work for money, but work to keep them safe, to moderate. And I've made a lot of really awesome friends, and a lot of them are gamers. Not many of them are into comic books. Some are into Godzilla, some are into anime and movies and the Marvel Cinematic Universe especially. But comic books are far and in between. One or two people I have met, and we've talked comic books for hours. And when I say hours, I don't mean like one or two, I mean hours. But I have changed as a person. I am definitely not the person at the 500th comic review. I'm not the person I was pre-2020. Honestly, even 2020. I'm not the person I was in 2020. The past 5 years, a lot has changed. And it goes into the next subject, which it's the old ways. The old ways aren't working. For all the reasons I've said before. My life is not the same anymore. It's not the way it was 5 years ago, where my family was the way it was. When I started the comic reviews, my dad was healthy. My grandmother was healthy. Michael was here. It was, I worked. It was a Monday to Friday job. The weekends are when I recorded. We did family events, family barbecues. There were times where I needed to record somewhere else, so I'd ask my grandmother to record in her side room. That's why sometimes the reviews were in a different room. That was in my grandmother's apartment. And I didn't have to worry about as much. I wasn't in need. I wasn't needed. I wasn't, somebody who had to be responsible for an entire house or for things that needed to come and go from our family, because my dad dealt with that, my mom dealt with that. With dad gone, more responsibilities came. 2 children, even more responsibilities came. Mike not being here, there's no one to share those responsibilities with anymore. It's just me. And I was trying to do videos, recordings, and unboxings the way things were before, and that's just not working because life isn't the way that it was before. So I think I got very ambitious. I had many ideas. I do love all of the ideas I came up with. The in-depth reviews, the comic review, and then the 60-second reviews for YouTube shorts. Comics and Coffee being the in-depth review, by the way. I think I got a bit too ambitious, though, because I acted like this channel didn't go on a vacation and mostly everybody left. And I even went into editing videos the way they were, like the way they were back when I had everybody still here on the channel. And it's a bit discouraging putting in the editing work and everything and then realizing that this channel is back to like being a brand new channel again. Starting from scratch is the main thing here, because consistency is going to bring back the old viewers, and bring in the newer viewers. We are in a day and age now also where comic books are very niche. However, I know there is an audience out there because I've seen what other people have done, and I'm over the moon still every time I see a new video from Mike Spiderslayer. So I know there are people out there that want to see the reviews, that want to see the hauls and hear comic talk. I've watched other comic review channels, other comic haul video channels. They don't even do reviews. They just go to the store and buy comics and talk comics with people. And some of them even go to conventions and look for old comics to do a resell of. Those channels are doing great. So while our community is a very niche community, I know it's still out there. I know there's still an audience. And I want to build to bring that audience here so that people can share their passion, which is also my passion. And together we can share that as a community. And then maybe if there are people within the community that like gaming, they can come over to my Twitch channel because I am still streaming. And I plan to continue streaming even while doing YouTube. So I will still be gaming. But I think when it comes to the videos, I have to start treating them like this is a brand new channel. And instead of putting in the work like this is a channel that gets a lot of views, starting off smaller. Less editing, more just focusing on making the videos to make sure they're consistent, to make sure they're coming out on time. And then, as the channel grows, the goal is always to grow. And as the channel grows, that's when the content will expand. Where we'll expand on the content, we'll do more. Where editing will start coming in, the quality will start building up again. And I'm not sitting here going, oh, well, if you want to see quality content, then you got to bring me viewers. I need viewers. No, it just means that I want to focus more on the content than the quality, than the editing of the content. I want to make sure that the quantity of content, which is the core stuff, I want this channel to keep its core, which is the hauls and the reviews. Because I have another channel that does entertainment. And then I'm also going to bring the unboxings back here. It just works better here. It just is. This is the comic channel. This needs it. And as much as I want to build up the entertainment channel, haul videos, unboxing videos, that's comics, that's here. If I'm doing my weekly haul or my monthly haul here, unboxing should go here too. And the preview talk, all of that I want to do here, but you're going to notice a little change in the editing. There's not going to be much of it. And if I do a review and I'm talking about digital books, you might not see the covers for a while. When it comes to the haul videos, I did go back to buying my books monthly for a while. That is for money purposes. It is expensive to do a weekly delivery. So for right now, I went back monthly, but that's not going to stop the reviews because I can still review my books because I do get them digitally as well. So I can do my reviews digitally still. Again, my goal for the haul video stays the same. At some point, I would love to do a picking up my books at a comic shop, whether it be a local comic shop or going to Midtown in the city. I just cannot do it at this time. And sitting here and saying it's going to happen soon, I feel like continuing to say something annoys people. I'm getting annoyed. That's why I don't say I'm back anymore. And it's not because that guy in the comments with his snarky remarks says this is the 5th time you said it. It's because I'm getting sick of saying it. I'm getting sick of hearing myself say it. So I'm not. And I'm not going to sit here and continue to say the same thing with the haul video. For right now, we'll do physical monthlies with, of course, the Midtown extras, which will be weekly, unless I have nothing for a week. I do want to start. I do want to upgrade at some point the haul videos. But till then, we're going to do the monthly. And then when it comes to the comic reviews, it's going to be about me talking about my books that I read. It's going to be about discussing the books. Not in depth. That'll be still for comics and coffee. But talking about them and not worrying that, oh, I've got to make sure I edit that cover onto the review. And it takes 3 times as long to get the video up because I've got to edit covers into it. Am I going to try anyway? Knowing me, yes, I'm still going to probably try. But if it's a lot of books, I'll probably say no. I've already got a template for the thumbnail. Thumbnails are also, I tell you, people think it's really easy doing YouTube videos. It's not, because you have to take into consideration recording the video, editing the video, making the thumbnail so that the video is something that interests people. You know, you got to make it look good. So, you know, you got to make a nice juicy hook with the thumbnail. And then of course promoting through your social medias. It's a lot of work, and that's just for one video. Imagine doing 2 videos, 3 videos, 4 videos a week. This is why a lot of the bigger YouTube channels have editors, because they record the video and then send it off somewhere else to get edited, and then the editors are uploaded, and then I'm sure that they pay somebody to do the thumbnails as well. It's all me. Like I said, there's no one else with me doing this anymore. So I'm going to be working on forgetting the old ways, because the old ways are gone. We're in a new era now. You know, I've been through many eras on YouTube. First was the Brooklyn Boys era, then was the Dark Avenger era, then was the Dark Avenger Inc. comic frontline era, and now all of that's over. All those chapters have ended, and it's just me again. So now starts a new era. Maybe it's the Chaotic Avenger era, because it's a mix between Chaotic Blaze and Dark Avenger. So this might be the Chaotic Avenger era. But I can say, and I've mentioned this in multiple places already, this is a major project I'm working on, because it's not just YouTube, it's not just Twitch, it's not just VR chat, it's all of it. And there are other channels connected to this channel. There is a card opening channel, which probably is going to be used very sparingly, very little, here, there, and everywhere, unless maybe my son wants to take up card opening at some point. I don't know. But there's a card opening channel, there's a gaming channel, and there's an entertainment channel. And then, like I said, there's VR chat, Twitch, and in VR chat, I have a group that I'm looking to create that is going to connect all the other groups that I work in. And all of this is going to be part of the same universe. This is a big, ambitious project that I'm working on. But this is also going to be my last major project, because this is going to be the project, this is going to be the thing I create that takes me from now, from 2025, to the end of my days with content creating. Whether the end of my days are a year from now or another 50 years from now, which I'm hoping for the latter of the two. I want this to last. I want this to mean something before my YouTube career is over, or before I'm ready to retire. I'm going to be working hard on this channel to get things back in a new way. New way for sure. Whether the reviews have to change a bit to something new, or the haul videos, which are going to change, and then all the new content. And then I do have people I've been talking to on VR chat. You are going to see content with guest stars very soon. And there's one particular thing I'm thinking of right now that I was literally just discussing on Twitch 2 days ago. Not on my stream, but on somebody else's stream. I haven't been streaming the past couple of months because I've been focusing on wanting to do this video and dreading and nervous and anxious about recording this video. And I'm so glad that I'm doing it finally, and I'm already mostly through it. But I did talk with a group of people, and one of the things you all know I love doing is podcasting. I'm doing it right now, and that might be something you will see very soon with me talking with a few people. Now, through my career on VR chat, I did meet a lot of popular furries, or as we call them, poppy furs. And I made friends with quite a few as well. And as much as I'm building up on here, Blaze is quickly becoming a very well-known furry, and is becoming very well-known in general. And the more people I meet, and the more people who I hang out with and do content with, is boosting Blaze up as well. So you're going to be seeing those people possibly here or on Dark Avenger Entertainment or through my Twitch streams. I'm definitely in a different place than I was, like I said, 5 years ago. My friend group is very different, and I love all the new friends I've made. And I actually want to take this moment because I'm remembering something I wanted to say. The people through that rough era, 2020 to 2023, I want to say, because those are the roughest years for me. You know who you are and you know who you're not. I had some. It really showed me those 3 years who my friends were, who my true friends were, and who my air quote, quotation friends were. Because the friends that were my real friends stuck by me through it all. Through the frustration, through my depression, through my aggravating moments. I'm sure I was very irritating, wanting certain things and not understanding certain things and repeating myself over and over and over again about certain things. Those that stuck by me and chose not to, walk away or chose not to, make chats somewhere separate from me on purpose so that they didn't have to deal with. I mean, granted, I hope that everybody did that, a little bit of that, because it was hard. I know I was hard to deal with during those years a bit because I was trying to figure out life, because life had thrown me such a curveball. It was so different. It was overwhelming. But for those that stuck by me and yeah, even if they took a break for a bit and then came back, I appreciate all of you. You definitely kept me strong. And then when I met my newer friends, the ones that I was just talking about, they helped build me stronger. But I wouldn't have made it to them if not for the friends that stuck by me and helped keep me strong through the hard times. And then the newer friends helped me build up from the hard times into where I am now. I appreciate and love every single one of the people I still call friend or that I still look at as friends who stuck with me. Like I said, you know who you are and you know who you're not. So, and if you're questioning if you are or aren't, you possibly were the in-between. There are a few people that I would consider the in-between, but mostly either you were or you weren't. And now here we are in 2025, May. We're almost halfway through 2025. It's been so long. Literally almost 20 years that I've been on YouTube. In 2027, it'll be 20 years. Damn. I'm going to have to do something in 2027, that's for sure. But that's 2 years away. And that is, hopefully in 2027, we'll be somewhere with this channel and with everything. But I feel like I had to get this cast off my chest. I feel like I had to take the time to, first of all, say I'm sorry. I know I let a lot of people down. I know that a lot of people at the start of this channel were here wanting to see that 1000th comic review, and I can promise you it's going to happen. I am going to try everything in my power to make that dream that I gave up on a reality again. And hopefully it brings back some of the people that left at some point. I already apologize for all the changes that I did in the past with this channel, because this channel saw its days. We definitely had some rough times, and we definitely had some mix mash times. But in the end, we always stayed a comic review. We always had comics at our core. So I'm sorry I left. In more ways than one, I'm sorry. But I'm hoping that we can get things back on track the way they were 5 years ago. Just not the way they were being done 5 years ago. Those ways are gone. Those days are gone. Unfortunately, I would give anything to have one more day 6 years ago. But if anything, hopefully this video, this podcast episode, will be the start of the upward battle for this channel. And while this channel has a lot of history already in it, I am hoping that this starts a waypoint for when the channel finally found its groove, found its purpose, and we build from now. We remember the past. I will never forget anything that's happened on this channel. I have some beautiful memories, and every time I see a review cover or a thumbnail from a certain era, from the hundreds to the 200s, 300s, 400s, I remember the recording, what was going on in the background, what was happening that week, why certain people were on the show, why certain people weren't. I've had friends, I've had girlfriends, I've had family members show up on this show, on this channel. I have beautiful memories, both in video and in community. And now I just hope to recreate that in this new era and make new memories with all of you in my videos and in my content. And that's really all this video, episode, whatever you want to call it, is all about. Acknowledging and remembering the past, apologizing for it taking 5 years for me to get myself straight enough to be able to say it's time to either do something or hang it up. And I'm not ready to hang it up. I am so not ready to be done. So here we are. Yes, we could be at episode 1000 right now for the comic review, but I am okay. I am more than okay pushing forward in the 500s and working my ass off to get to 1000 the way it should have been. We missed 5 years. A lot has happened. We have a lot to catch up on. But you're damn sure I'm going to do it. I can damn sure promise all of you I'm going to do it. And something new is going to come from all of this. And I'm excited for it. And I'm looking forward to it. And now that I've acknowledged everything, I can lift that weight off of my chest and just move forward. One of Christopher Reeve's biggest things, biggest quotes was to move forward. That's what happened when he was paralyzed. That's what happened when he made his foundation. Now I'm going to move forward. And I look forward to in a bit of worry, excitement. What's next? I know a lot happened in the 10 plus years that this channel has been around. Who knows what's going to happen in the next 10 plus years? Maybe some good news, maybe some good things, maybe we'll get some comic companies back in our corner. But I have to earn that, and I know I have to earn that, and I'm going to earn that, and it's going to start now. And we'll see where we are. And we'll celebrate as we make each and every milestone. And I'd be lying if I said a return of certain people is something that I'm definitely keeping my fingers crossed for and hoping for in the future. And if not, I'm still going to hope. Because if I learned anything from Superman, hope is one of the strongest things that we have. Well, I'm done with this episode. I don't want to stretch out the ending. Thank you all so much for being here, listening to me rant, ramble, and really badly go through this first episode. But you know what? This is unedited. And that's the way I wanted this episode, unedited. I'll do a little bit better in future podcasts, though, I promise you that. But this was raw and uncut. I'm cutting nothing. Even the long pauses, I'm cutting nothing from this episode. I hope to see all of you soon. I will not start videos again until I know I can keep it going. My hope is sooner rather than later, but when the videos do officially start, they will not be stopping. I should actually, let me specify, when the reviews start, they will not be stopping, because as you see, we have a haul now. I do have actually the first week of May, I made a boo-boo and forgot to do my previews order for May. So I have weekly books coming from Midtown. So I will be doing a haul video for the weeks in May, and then June will go back to monthly for now. And I do also have a Funko haul I will be doing soon. So haul videos and stuff like that, they count, but they're not what I'm talking about here. When the reviews, when the actual news stuff starts happening on this channel again, it is not going to stop, or I'm going to quit. And I'm not looking to quit. So when the videos actually start again, look forward to content weekly. Take care, everybody. Keep reading, keep collecting, as I always love to say. And I will hopefully see all of you really soon in the next one.